Rick, thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin by talking about ALSAC. Your company has strong ties to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. Tell us a little bit about that connection and what's your mission?
So ALSAC is American Lebanese Syrian Associated Charities. And ALSAC came into being in 1957 for the sole purpose of building St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and then ultimately sustaining St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So we're the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude. We exist for no other purpose other than to support the life-saving work at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. But it was also our way. I'm Lebanese, and our founder, the first generation Lebanese Americans, it was their way of saying thank you to God and the United States of America for giving their parents and my grandparents the opportunity to come to the United States and to make a living.
As CEO over the last 10 years of ALSAC, you have been very committed to creating a culture of diversity, inclusion, and equality. 40% of the workforce are people of color. 60% of leadership roles have been held by women and people of color. Tell us, what's been the secret and the key to your success?
Well, you have to go back to our founding. So the whole notion of inclusion is in the DNA of ALSAC and St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. St. Jude was intentionally put in Memphis, Tennessee, in a segregated city in the 1960s to address healthcare disparities that existed then and sadly continue to exist today as manifested by the pandemic that we're all living through. And in the South, African Americans were routinely turned away from hospitals simply because of the color of their skin. And we wanted to address that. So, we're that really unique institution that not only opened their doors in the very, very beginning to kids of all races, creeds, religions, but we also took economics completely out of the equation. So today, no family receives a bill from St. Jude for anything, right? And what are we trying to address now? Healthcare disparities around the globe. So we are addressing healthcare disparities there, and we genuinely believe that our mission needs to reflect the communities that we serve, and we serve very diverse communities.
Your company was one of the first to offer your employees $15 a minimum wage when many other companies were not and still are not doing that. And also, you were an early believer in the importance of having a diversity and inclusion officer. How critical have these kinds of decisions been in your success?
I think they've been absolutely critical. But you know what? Those were easy decisions. You know why? Because they're the right thing to do. So as long as you can do as a CEO, as long as you can base your decision making in what's the right thing to do, a lot of these decisions are really not that difficult. It was not hard for me to say to our call center employees, you deserve to make $15 an hour because you're contributing just as much as I am as the CEO of this organization. So those are the kind of things that I think are fundamental. And what I always tell my workforce is judge me by my actions, not by my words. Judge me by my deeds, not by my words. I'll always watch my words, okay? And that's important for CEOs to be very responsible because there's consequences to the things that we say as leaders. But judge me by my actions as well.
You recently wrote an op-ed article for Fortune where you said that the pandemic has revealed the social, health, and economic disparities in America. You've been talking a lot about health equity. You said that now more than ever, the importance of corporate social responsibility, I know a term that we hear so much, you say, quote, is more relevant than ever. So I know that we hear business leaders talk a lot about this and promise a lot of change. And recently you participated in Fortune's CEO Initiative Conference where these issues came up. How do you rate what you're hearing from the business community?
So it was really inspiring to see fellow CEOs and fellow C-level executives really want to change the world and to commit themselves to transformation and material and substantive change. It was heartwarming to me to see that CEOs were realizing the importance of purpose in their organizations. And we were able to have very honest, candid conversations that, you start fundamentally that these things are the right thing to do. So you always start there. But then you start to think about the workforces that we all lead. They're increasingly younger, and they have an expectation that they want to work at companies that are strong in purpose. We think about the consumers, or in our case, the donors that we serve. They're looking to buy products from companies that are steeped in purpose and that they're making a difference in communities. So you start to see, and I saw it manifest at the Fortune conferences and in the Fortune meetings, CEOs really understanding the importance of purpose.
That all sounds great. And even with all the great things that you've been doing, you've said it's still not enough. What more do you think that you need to do, your company?
We need to get more mature on our inclusion journey. And so, we can have great diversity numbers, and we have improving diversity numbers. I don't ever want to be complacent, but we need to get better as an inclusive organization. We need to make sure that the overwhelming majority of this organization feels like they can bring their true, authentic self to work every single day, that they're going to be respected for their true, authentic self, that we as leaders make sure that everyone is brought into a conversation, that we're hearing these diverse voices so that we can make the best decisions. So we need to become more mature on our inclusion journey, I would say.